Hello and welcome to today's episode of Amy's Kitchen. If you are yet to belong to this growing family, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and go ahead to give this video a thumbs up and also share with your loved ones. So for today's recipe, I have how to bake the most tastiest Ghanaian meat pie ever, and I mean ever, guys. You will love this recipe. And so let's move straight into a list of our ingredients. To help you, I will list the ingredients in the description box below. A good meat pie should be moist on the inside with generous amount of filling, and the crust should also be flaky. So here are all the ingredients I will use in making my special meat pie. I have some vegetables, I have spices, I have flour, I have eggs, I have butter, I have milk, I have plain yogurt, I have rising agents. The ones I used in this video are baking soda and baking powder. So let's get straight into the process. So I start off by preparing my dough for the pie. I pour my flour into my mixing bowl and I go ahead to add my baking soda, baking powder, salt to taste, aniseed, and nutmeg. So what I am trying to achieve here is to infuse flavor and taste and also get my dough to rise using the baking powder and baking soda. So I give this a stir to mix everything uniformly. Then I go ahead and add my butter. So guys, in this video I am using 1 kg of flour, and so with that I use 500 grams of butter. So I had 250 grams in each sachet. I mix this together. What I am trying to achieve here is to achieve a flaky texture, more like breadcrumbs. And so I mix this thoroughly, making sure that everything is well mixed, and then I have the perfect consistency. So I create a well and I break 2 eggs into the mixture. So guys, I am building on the richness of our dough. Yes, of course. So to add more richness to our dough, instead of adding water, I go ahead and add milk. So guys, note we are not trying to activate the gluten in the flour, and so you have to be careful when you are adding the milk. Do not add too much milk because that will make the gluten in the flour to be activated. So this is the perfect consistency and texture we want for our dough, so that it can be easily rolled and molded for the pie. I go ahead and cover my mixing bowl with a clean foil, and I set this aside to rise and also let the dough settle. I mostly keep this refrigerated for about 30 to 45 minutes whilst I move on to prepare the sauce for the pie. I preheat 3 tablespoons of cooking oil and 2 tablespoons of butter, and I go ahead to add my diced onions. to fry for about 3 minutes. I go ahead to add my natural spice blend mixture. By now you should know what goes into my natural spice blend mixture, but I will still go ahead and list them somewhere on the screen. Feel free to use crushed garlic and ginger if you do not have all the listed ingredients. I proceed to add the protein for my filling, which in this case is canned beef. You can use any protein at this stage. Mostly I will use minced beef, but I didn't have minced beef at home, so I decided to use my canned beef. I will give this a good fry for about 5 minutes so that the flavor can infuse into it and take away the raw corned beef taste we know canned beef for. So I proceed to add all my other spices. I will list the exact spices I use somewhere on the screen. But just to mention a few, I used organic ginger powder. I use Maggi stock cube, black and white pepper, nutmeg powder, and salt to taste. I go ahead to give this a uniform mix, making sure everything is perfectly mixed together. For some residual heat, I go ahead to add my tiny chopped fresh chili pepper. So guys, I particularly use papushito. You can use any other fresh pepper, but guys, take note, you have to take out the seeds. So taking out the seeds reduces the hotness of the pepper, and that is what we want for this sauce. You can also go ahead and use cayenne pepper, which is powdered pepper in Ghana, but guys, be moderate because we don't want it very spicy. I proceed to add flour to absorb the excess oil in the sauce. Mostly you can use cornstarch as well. The flour also keeps the inside of the pie moist. It keeps the filling from drying up. I cook the flour for about 3 minutes. I add evaporated milk and plain yogurt to the filling to build on the richness and also help maintain moisture in the filling. I give this a uniform stir and allow it to cook for about 2 minutes. And I proceed to add my vegetables. The vegetables I used in this recipe are carrots, green pepper, and spring onions. Feel free to use any vegetable mixture of your choice. I give this a stir and allow it to cook for about a minute and take it off fire. Guys, we don't want our vegetables overcooked because we are going to bake this as well. I prep my baking tray with some butter and flour. We do this mainly so that our pie doesn't stick to the tray when we bake it. So we move on to the rolling of the dough. So on a clean surface, sprinkle some flour, bring out your dough and apply some flour to your roller so that the dough doesn't get stuck to the roller whilst rolling. Knead the dough for a minute or two on the floured surface and begin to roll your dough. So guys, avoid thinly rolling out your dough. Mostly I keep the size of my rolls medium in thickness so that my filling doesn't spill out easily. I go ahead and use my pastry maker to get my perfect dough sizes. Using my pastry maker, I sprinkle a little bit of flour in the center and I place my shaped dough in the center. I fill the dough with a generous amount of filling in the center, and I clamp together my pastry maker to form my pie. Note, if you do not have a pastry maker, you can use any rounded bowl. Press it against the dough to get the perfect dough sizes for the pie, as I have demonstrated. If you do not have a pastry maker, fill the cut dough at the center as usual. Fold the dough over and use your thumb to seal the dough as being demonstrated. So repeat this filling process until you have exhausted all your dough. To achieve that golden brown color of the crust, I use the yolk of an egg mixed with evaporated milk, and I brush the egg and milk mixture over the pie. So guys, be moderate in your application so as not to spill over on your tray like I have. I go ahead to perforate the dough using my fork just to prevent the pie from bursting whilst baking. I proceed to preheat my oven on a medium heat for about 10 minutes, and I finally put my pie in the oven to bake for about 30 minutes. So after 30 minutes of baking, our pie is finally ready. Guys, I'm so impressed and happy with the turnout. Look at how moist the pie is on the inside and how flaky it is on the crust. Guys, see that golden brown color? Yes, 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 yes. We have managed to come up with a perfect recipe for Ghana meat pie. Go ahead and give this recipe a try at home, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Until I come your way next time with another recipe. Bye.